I will turn it over to her. We want to kind of echo thank yous, PTA board and PTA people, and the administration, school board, central office, principals. All of you have chosen to stay for the very last presentation. Kudos to you, Gold Star. We're going to talk about our little hashtag Propel to Greatness. This is actually, it's modeled after the Ron Clark Academy, but it's really been, Tanya Neese and Dr. Sharon Pickering need to have a big shout out for this because it was their vision, and then we've just kind of continued and implemented it and gone through some growing pains. Like anything, you have what you see, and then you modify it for what works for you. As teachers, we do that all the time. We glean off other people's wisdom, and so that is what we have done. I want to make you feel uncomfortable a moment, hopefully. Have you ever thought to yourself, where do I fit in? What is my niche? What is my purpose in life? Anybody ever felt that? Well, guess what? It's not just an adult thing. Kids feel that way, and it's not limited by any gender or race or socioeconomics. All of us feel that way. That is a picture of a family. It's a real family, and today, because I got it off the internet, and it's true, it's off the internet. So this is not what every family looks like. I remember I don't know how many of you were around in 1988, but I remember in a speech class, and I did a speech on gangs and dropouts and runaways. And the big thing is everybody just wants to feel connected, wants to feel a part of something. And so our goal with our houses is like a school within a school type of thing, but it's building those relationships where you have different houses. We have 6 houses at Northside, and every child, we went through the Wheel of Fortune wheel for the first time and assigned kids a house. Teachers, every adult in the building is randomly assigned to a house, and that's where we connect. I won't get into too much. This is Miss Yolanda Miller, and she's going to take it.
Okay. Just think of like Harry Potter-ish, and then you'll see where we're coming from. Kind of like how they were all sorted into their houses at the beginning. That's kind of what that wheel was. It's kind of like a sorting hat, only they go into a color and then a name. And the reason for it was, well, let me back up. Dr. Pickering sent us to Ron Clark Academy, and they kind of follow this. So they've got a giant wheel, and they get sorted, and they go through the slide, and they go into their house. And while they're there, that house is their family. And on Fridays, they have this big meeting, and we got to see one, and it's amazing to see how connected these kids are. I mean, they cry over each other. One of them got it's like a jacket ceremony that they go into. And, I mean, they were crying for each other, so happy that one of them got one. And that was amazing to see, especially since we were talking about how building relationships and how that kind of can branch off into the well-being, not just of the students, but of the teachers. And that's what we sort of wanted to mirror at Northside, was just kind of to make them feel like when they walk through those doors, that's your family, the school. But then within that family, like you were saying, there is another family, a closer one, not one that's just within your grade, because I tell my first graders that, we're a little family when we close the door, but also to kind of branch it out to where it's not just your room, your grade, or your grade as a whole, it's an entire school. And the way we've sorted them is K through 4. So in that particular house, you have a kindergartner who just got here in August, and a 4th grader it's their last year. And everybody's welcoming, they're hugging, oh, look, these are our new friends, and everyone kind of introduces them at their first meeting, and they get sorted in August, that first month of school after everything kind of settles down a little bit. And some of the things that we do, we kind of mirror, and it's turned into not just for the students, but for the teachers. And I found this really cool picture of actually both of us doing separately the same activity. And as you can see, everyone's just as excited.
Not a complimentary picture of me, thank you.
But the purpose of it was to foster an atmosphere of the north side. Like, this is us. We're a big family. We all love each other and are here for each other. To make those positive relationships, not just between student and teacher and student, but teacher. Because when we're happy, kind of the whole ship is happy. So every student is involved. If you can see in the picture, it's kindergartners, first grade. They're all working together to solve this. They're trying to build as big of a tower with marshmallows, and I think that was spaghetti noodles, which kept breaking. But you can see how everybody's engaged, everyone's happy. It's just like a moment out of the day that everyone's like, okay, we're just going to relax a little and we're going to engage in this. And we do them once a month, and then we have a big gathering at the end, and everybody comes in, and everybody's made up cheers, and everyone's cheering. It's really interesting and fun to see. This fostering relationship bridges grade levels, departments, and geographic locations in the building, and it provides a family within a family. Like right here, you have fourth graders, kindergartners, first graders. They're all doing the same thing all together. Where in a building, and all teachers can kind of attest to this, I can be on one side. I might not see that fourth grade teacher hardly ever. I mean, during a faculty meeting, or if I perchance, go to the bathroom on that side of the building. And the bigger your building, the more that's true. So this kind of forces everybody all in one place at one time, and you get to see and high five, and the kids talk. And last year they ate lunch together during Digital Learning Day in their houses, and just them different people sitting together. Oh yeah, and in the hallways. For example, I'm in the Meraki house, and we came up with kind of like an M because it's the elephants. So kind of like an M for Meraki, or sometimes they'll do this to me in the hallway, and it's like a fourth grader or a third grader, and I'll do it back, and they smile real big. And so it's things that you can do that connects you even though you don't see each other all the time, and that maybe they would not, the kindergarten, that fourth grader may not have met otherwise. Again, more pictures. I think pictures tell more of a story of what's going on than even my words. Foster relationships that bridges grade levels again, all geographic locations. This is actually one of our gatherings. So this is the red house behind us. And these kids came up with a rap for, what was it, last year? I can't. What was it? Can you say it? I can't say that name. I know. And they came up with a rap on Black History Month. And so they were given a person, and each house kind of researched that one person, and then they came up with all of these wonderful things. And here they are again on the floor, and they're trying to figure it on the iPad. The fourth grader's holding it. There's a little kindergartner. These were first graders. I mean, it's just the way it works. They just kind of do it all on their own. It's fun to see. And then over here, she's real excited. She won something. Oh, it was a drone. Drone had gone.
Our Digital Learning Day, the houses are a neat way to kind of pair things up. For our Digital Learning Day last year, we traveled as houses, and that was nice to have the fourth older students, they kind of meshed with the younger to help them. But one of the stations was coding and doing drones and stuff, and because we were Black History Month, they looked at, oh my goodness, because I'm in front of people, I can't remember, to go from the south to the north.
Underground Railroad.
Yes, thank you. The Underground Railroad, but they did coding stuff to figure out I know I'm nervous. But and so it was cool. We applied what was being taught academically with, we had various stations, and they all they worked together.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, the 6 houses. Do you want to say them?
The related arts teachers are kind of house leaders because we know every student in the school. And then this year we recruited Tatum Odom when Tonya Neese went a different route. And so we have different names. Like I am House Ignitus. And so my gang signal is to do this. We just make the letter D. We have colors. again, it's like gangs, but in a good way, where we have our colors that we wear on gathering and house meeting days. We have our little symbols. We have chants and cheers, and it's not for the person that wants to not participate, because we do. But each house has a color. And I can't pronounce all those. I can pronounce my house, but I know, orange house, that's Mr. Harris's house. And so it's easier to kind of figure that out.
Yeah. And even the shy kid that doesn't normally participate, when you've got everybody in orange and they're all doing the chant, there's not one person sitting. They're all doing it, which is wonderful. And then we kind of model. We love, I have, like I said, my little first grade friends in there, my family, and then Northside as a whole is a family. But now when I go to this, that's my family. And that family is now all these other teachers and 4th through kindergarten. And when you see them in the hallway, they'll do their little thing and they'll smile real big because they know that's my family. I'm going to go give them a little shout out. So it's wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you. That was very interesting. And I would be curious as to how the names for the house were established.
Each of the house names kind of go with the personality. It's our spirit animal. It goes with the personality of the person that's in charge of that house.
Okay.
Like I'm House Dignitas, and I want my students to feel that they conduct themselves in a dignified manner. And so, like Explore is Valerie Orfield, and she's sciencey.
I got it now. Okay.
So, yeah.
Now I got it. Okay. We are at the end, but I do not want to deny you the opportunity to perhaps ask a really quick question or two, like we did with our others. Yes, over here.
Do the students go into a different house every year?
Good question. No.
Okay.
Because we are family, and so once that child is in kindergarten and they're in that house, they stay in that house.
Okay.
We did have to make a couple minor changes this year because, like, we might have one house that has like
Turn it off.
100 billion boys. No, I'm just kidding. Or something like that
Some
to balance it a little bit. But once the kid's in the house, they're in that family.